Take a look at some of this week's stories that are impacting branding, and branding expert and host of the Chatters and Matters podcast, Tony Chapman, from one Tony to another, joining us.
Hey, good morning, Tony. It's
Tony,
great.
how can you go wrong?
Exactly, yeah.
Hey, Tony, it's great to see you. A big story that, we were following closely. I feel like everyone was weighing in on this. The Cracker Barrel back and forth, changing the logo, then returning to their original logo. What do you think of how that played out and why people were so passionate about the change there?
Well, we don't like change. Today, millions of people are sort of, they're in hoodies in their basements with social media slingshots, just trying to take aim at anything in society because their society, their comfort zone's not there. They're standing on shifting sand. So there's a lot of anxiety and anger. So I think that's part of it. Second part of it, obviously, is when you have the president of the United States deciding he's going to step out of his lane and grab a marketer's lane. To me, is just another example of a culture down in the States that's really turned upside down. Where I think Cracker Barrel missed in this wasn't so much changing their logo, is that they lost their point of distinction. Investors bought this brand about 5 or 6 years ago, and of course they tried to extract more money. They introduced alcohol sales, and then they bring in a new CEO and say, we should really modernize this. We're not getting that young audience anymore. Let's make it very clean and minimalistic. The reality is they had a point of distinction. They were an oasis on a highway. You went in there and you knew exactly what you're going to get, the comfort level of it. What they should have done is double down on the return to the good old days. They should have said to America, listen, we're fractured right now. There's really two states of America, Republican and Democrat. We're not part of that. We're part of when you can share a family meal with anybody and enjoy it. And they should have really stayed with that distinction. When you have something unique like Cracker Barrel, you don't abandon it because you think you have to chase a younger audience. You double down and invite more people to celebrate what you have. And that's where I think they made the mistake. Everybody's focusing on the logo. Where I'm focusing on is the sense of when you have something unique, when you stand out and stand for, own it, celebrate it, and go full throttle on it.
Yeah, don't just blend in, right? Stand out. I get your point there,
Well, why
Tony.
would you blend
Absolutely.
in with everybody else that's out there? Every other roadside diner out there, the Applebee's and that. I mean,
Yes.
I couldn't tell you what the difference is, but Cracker Barrel, I know the big porch, the rocking chairs, the country store. My wife loves chicken fried steak there. I mean, so it's what it is, and own it.
Yeah. All right. This is another massive story. We don't typically talk about engagements with you, Tony, but the Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce relationship, that has an economic impact, and it's a huge wave.
Every marketer needs to study this. People dismiss this as celebrity gossip. These two people are really the new royalty. Their crowns aren't made of gold and platinum and jewels. It's made of influence. They bypass the corridors of power. Power loves to control you through religion, through media, taxation, sometimes force. And they found a way to go directly to the masses. Carl Jung, the psychologist, said this so well. We love fairy tales. And this is a fairy tale. Athlete meets rock star. They fall in love. They get married. And what these two do is because they understand the algorithms of the day. That's what their crown's based on, influence. They find a way to sow seeds and plant, and then next thing you know, their fans put together these puzzles, and billions of impressions follow. And then what comes on their magic carpet? The media and other brands. And the next thing you know, they've created a whole new way of engaging a world, and they're doing it through positivity and possibility and happiness. And to tell you something, that's a vacuum that needs to be filled nowadays, because I would say often, right now, what we're dealing with in society is impossibility, negativity. So for all of this, it's a great study for society to realize that we still yearn for the good old days, happiness, love, fairy tales. And don't ever mistake, just because this world's nasty and people are shooting slingshots at logos and everything else, that inside us, more than anything else, matters of the heart.
Yeah, I think that's a great example that's so true. Even when we were following, Taylor Swift and her Eras tour, like the stories of her giving back and these kids coming together and so positive, it's infectious. So you make a really good point. Our last topic, we're going to squeeze this one in there. So this is the rise of streaming companies bundling their brands. Bell, for example, launching this Crave Disney Netflix partnership. Transparency, CP24 is owned by Bell Media, but we're seeing this more and more, Tony.
It's a brilliant move, because what happens is people sort of throttle between one service and another. I'm going to get Apple because Ted Bundy's on. Next time I'm going to go to Netflix because I want to watch F1. What I think Bell's done is they've taken a page from the old cable companies. We're going to bundle things together that we think are irresistible. give it to you at a value pricing instead of buying them independently, bundle it so there's some value to the consumer. And once you're there, you're going to go, I don't want to really leave this bundle because there's so much there for me to watch. And I think it's a fantastic strategy. And I love that they're leading with Crave, because Crave is one of these underestimated in terms of content, because it's always had that HBO filler in it and some great stories in it. So I think the combination of three, saying to the Canadians out there, you can buy from a Canadian company. We're going to give you a world of content and we're going to make it affordable. So it's a brilliant move on their part.
Yeah, it seems like streaming is sort of turning into cable almost in a way there.
Well, it is.
Yeah.
We left cable to get content for free with no advertising. Now we're paying a lot for content with advertising.
Exactly.
So
yeah.
it's the same price. Circle.
It really has. Okay, Tony, always appreciate these conversations with you. Tony Chapman, brand expert, host of the Chat of the Matters podcast. We'll see you soon, Tony.